is a lot to play for here, especially in the Constructors' Championships. Taking a look at the Constructors starting, we have Williams at 5 points down at the bottom, but Ritzy was just made a full-time racer there. We could definitely see them climb up the boards quickly. Haas sitting in ninth with 7 points. And then you have Alfa Romeo at 18, McLaren at 21, and then Alpine is sitting in sixth with 36. Now, this top five is where it all gets interesting because this top five is only separated by 5 points total.
Wow.
AlphaTauri is sitting in fifth with 43 points. There is a tie for third between Ferrari and Red Bull at 44 points apiece. Mercedes is sitting at 46, and then Aston Martin is leading it with 48 points.
Nice. So that's a very close between those top teams. You said 5 points, right?
It was a 5 point difference between first and fifth.
Whew. Yeah, 5. That's very, 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 very interesting right there with those teams. So yeah, we'll see how things go. We have started qualifying, got some movement in the Mercedes garage. Looks like Cloud is coming out in the Mercedes for his first of possibly maybe 3 flying laps. You never know. We're going to go on board with him real quick as he comes out. Once again, we have an 18 car field. Unfortunately, we only have 1 Ferrari. And it looks like we only have... Looking down the grid right now, maybe we have 1 Williams or 1 Alpine? I'm not sure who's missing in this grid.
Looking at this, let me take a look at these groups here. Does not... we might be down to 1 Williams. I'm not seeing MGS on here, unfortunately.
MGS is not here? Okay. And then we also have only 1 Ferrari, so looks like Latifi's missed this race this week. Last week's grueling winner. Or last races. Absolutely pulled that out of the bag, although Zylo was on a mission as Cloud spins out on his outlap. Not what you want to do when you're trying to get the tires warm. I mean, they're warm, maybe they're too warm. So, I mean, just to see how he does. We go on board now with, as I mentioned, making his URL debut. We have right here Ritzy, who is behind Cloud, getting Cloud some space here. You know what? First race, let's go on board with the Williams driver.
Now, with this Williams driver, he is currently, if we were to look at the driver standings, he is currently in 12th on that with 8 points from all of his reserve driving days. However, those points did not apply to the Williams as this is his first full-time gig.
Since a very, very quick Sector 1. Let's stay on board with Ritzy work his way through Sector 2. Very tricky left right high speed chicane, and then there's a long right-hander DRS flap wide open coming towards the end of Sector 2. It's gonna be a 51.6. The Williams driver absolutely flying. Works his way through Sector 3. This very technical part gets a bit squirrely. Saves the car though. Enters the last section and does invalid it with that mistake. So this lap will not count. We go on board with Cloud. Work his way out of the final corner. Cloud's going to set at 1:17.3. Goes quickest of all so far.
And looking at what Ritzy's time would have potentially been, that was sitting at a 1:18 flats, which would put him currently in the P2 had it not been invalidated.
As Win sets a 1:19.8, goes P2. Truly now comes in with a 1:18.8, goes P2. So that knocks down Win to P3. Anybody else on the flying lap right now? We got Lil Dead Gem. Not sure who this is, but goes P5. You got Peely now going P2 with an 18.4. Abuelado's P2 with an 18.7. Times are flying in right now, folks. You got Snaky around the final corner. Snaky goes P2 with an 18.1. So Cloud currently setting the early tempo here around Spain. Yeah, it looks like Ketchen making his way around the final corner. Not yet. He's behind the Mercedes driver. I'm guessing that's Goose. It is Goose in the Mercedes making his way around the final corner. And he goes P2 with that 17.5. Goose rounds the final corner, goes P5 with the 18.6, but that gets beat by Ketchen's 18.3, who goes P4. Ritzy, 19 flat. That was a cooldown that I'm gonna assume that was a cooldown lap as Ritzy makes his way into sector 1 on his lap again. I think this should be a cooldown lap. It is a cooldown lap for the Williams driver. Fat Cat Batman as Truly improves, goes P4, 18.3.
And we are seeing these times coming in at a rapid pace. Everyone just desperate to get out there, put in that time, and see where they can improve on in this qualifying session here.
Layout real quick. That layout that I had for this was like not fun. I couldn't read the times at all. Rocket Man makes his way through sector 3, the last chicane. Very, very technical part of the track that I do not like. I'm sure that these drivers don't like either. Rocket Man around the final corner. Where can he go? Goes P3 with the 18 flat. Very good lap by Rocket Man. We go on board now with B-Roy through sector 2. Makes his way round this fast right-hander. DRS flap should be wide open now. It is. Makes his way down towards the end of sector 2. It's going to be a 52.2 for the Red Bull driver, who needs, in my opinion, a good finish here.
He has been struggling throughout this season so far. Down near the bottom of the driver standings on only 3 points. This is one that's he really needs to get a very good time as he goes around this final corner here. Where will he stand at a 1:18.7?
P10 for the Red Bull. So mid-pack for the Red Bull driver. Who's on a lap right now? Looks like no one else is on a lap. You got Nail about to start his lap. You know what, Squish? Let's go on a quiet lap with the Ferrari driver, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that.
And after that slight mistake in sector 1, he goes P3. I'm wondering if that little hiccup where he went in the grass a little bit might have ruined his lap, but still goes P3 with an 18 flat, but still a very good lap by the Ferrari driver. Got Fat Cat Batman now on a flying lap here in the McLaren. And what were you trying to say, Squish? Go ahead.
As
Cloud goes with a 16.9, says catch me if you can.
I was gonna say that's a quiet lap. Quite a relaxing time here in that Ferrari engine just purr.
As Ritzy now goes P3 with a 17.5, and Fat Cat Batman spun it in Sector 3. So the McLaren driver, who has yet to set a time here, spins, and now we have Muppet now, I think making his debut, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is his debut, might not be his debut, I'm not really sure. I haven't seen him really racing in this league, but he makes his way through Sector 2. It's a 54-1, pardon me. Very, very off the pace here in the Aston Martin. Makes his way through Sector 3, comes towards the very, very annoying part of the circuit. Again, this chicane. I'm gonna keep saying it throughout the entire race, but it's a very annoying chicane. And Muppet makes his way around the final corner. He's gonna put him at a 120 flat, and he is P16.
Now, comparing it definitely with a lot of these times here, it's not quite the best outing, but it's still a decent time set nonetheless.
It's a decent time, but it does put him towards the back of the grid. We have a yellow flag in sector number 1. I think that might be DK getting out of the way. It is,
no,
but
he's
he's going to be in the
B-Roy.
way.
There's B-Roy sideways.
B-Roy
now.
sideways. Right, he had a little bit of a moment somewhere as his teammate now. Lil Dead Jim is 2/10 up on his time. 22.4 in the first sector for the Red Bull. 7:15 left to play here in qualifying.
And now I must say that I just saw through our chat here, truly did run out of fuel in sector 1 of his in-lap, so he may have had a little struggles trying to get back to the pit after that one. He did have that improvement on his time originally. He is now on a flying lap, but it doesn't look like it's improving anytime soon.
I'll tell you who is improving. Sorry, Squish, but Lil Dead Gem is a 1.5 seconds up on his time through sector 3. Can he go up and challenge the top 10 maybe with this lap? Comes through the final chicane, puts the power down, up in the 4th, up in the 5th, now 6th gear, around the final corner. It's gonna be a 19.7, only P15.
And, you know, it seemed like he had a lot going for him through some of these earlier sectors. I wonder where some of that may have fallen off at.
Not sure where, but now we have the final flying laps potentially starting, as looks like Nails on his flying lap now entering turn 1. Does have a Williams right behind him. Snaky on an out lap. Ketchin's also on an in lap, as Truly on a flying lap now in the McLaren. Have a yellow flag in sector 1. I'm wondering if that Snaky just getting out of the way. It is. Truly now through sector 1, he is down 1.7 seconds. Not a good lap, and he aborts immediately.
Now, as we go on board here with Fat Cat, he sets a 22.267 in the sector 1. We could be seeing quite the time here for his flying lap. Still has yet to put a time in.
Needs a good lap here in the McLaren driver, the only driver yet to set a time. Makes his way through sector 2. The long, fast, whooping right-hander. DRS flat wide open towards the end of sector 2. Coming towards this new and improved hairpin. It's a 51.5. Looking good so far for the McLaren driver to set a time. Does not want to spin out here though. Takes that perfectly.
Looks like he's managed to avoid that.
Goes a bit wide though, still managed to catch it. Makes his way through the chicane, puts the power down, a bit laggy, but we're still good. It's gonna be a 17.5 P2 for the McLaren.
Now that is
P3
quite the
now.
jump there.
That's
And then
Andy. Goes with the 17.3, says, I'll take P2 right back, sir. Don't mind me.
Now that's still quite a good time here for Fat Cat though, to get up to P3 after struggling to set a time for a lot of this qualifying session.
B-Roy's on an in lap here. Needs to go in the pits and put on a new set of tires here. Abolado now. Haven't seen much of the AlphaTauri driver today. Let's go take a look at how he's doing. He's 300s up on his lap so far in the first sector. Abolado though was my driver of the day last time out around Austria. Absolutely flying through that track.
Yes, he did put on quite a clinic when it came to that track there. Absolutely spectacular driving from him there. We'll see how he improves here as he's going towards the end of Sector 1. He is 3/10 up on his time at a 51.5.
3.5 tenths up for the AlphaTauri driver. Makes his way through Sector 3. Very, very tricky part of this track. Like I said many times before today, probably. As someone has taken the little access route. Hello. Wonder who that was. That might have been Truly actually coming in the pits. Maybe lost the wing. Abolado goes P5 with the 17.6, but still, Cloud with that 16.9 is looking like the driver to beat today.
He is becoming more and more difficult to catch up to, as we are seeing a lot of drivers trying to put in as many times as they can. It just does not seem like it's enough.
2.5 left to play, and Cloud is on his last flying lap. Makes his way towards turn 1 and towards turn number 2. That Mercedes looks very quick around this track right now. Makes his way around this long right-hander towards the end of Sector 1. What's it gonna be? And Cloud is only 1,000th up on his time. This Mercedes is flying, folks. Comes towards the fast slight chicane, I always call it now. Towards the right-hander, does have his teammate in front of him. This teammate does get out the way, just barely, I think he does. Oh, that was slowly within the two Mercedes drivers. Cloud is a 10th up. This Mercedes car is on a flyer.
They did take that turn a little wide there and had to do a little bit of correction, but he is now going into probably the most hated part as he clips the curb there a little bit.
That might have lost some time, might have hurt him a little bit. Comes across the line. It did hurt him.
That hurt him quite a bit.
So it's still autoplay for here. 0.4 of a second separate the top two. If compared to the top 4, it's a little over 0.6 of a second.
And they are all on outlaps right now, trying to get across that line so they can put in one last flying lap here.
As Fat Cat Batman is about to start his lap, he'll be the first one of the top 4 to set a time. Snaky and Abolado have given up in qualifying. They think, no more. I've had enough. We have 30 seconds left here in qualifying. Nail on a flying lap. So is Fat Cat Batman. Andy about to get on a lap. So is Ritzy. Everybody about to start their last flying laps here around Spain. Nail is down by almost a 10th on his lap. He needs to find some time here. 15 seconds to go.
And we can see what any of these drivers can put up. Fat Cat is a 10th up on his time right now through Sector 1. As he goes right to the grass, into the gravel, that lap is done for him.
Ritzy, can he improve? Ritzy's a 10.5 up on his time in Sector 1. Ritzy in the Williams on a flying lap here also. Andy, I didn't see his first sector, but I'm assuming that it was quick. Ketchin is done. Rocket Man is done. Goose is done. DK is done. Muppet is done. Nail goes P2 with a 17.1.
And there are still 2 more flying laps to keep eye on with Andy and Ritzy. As Ritzy's about to finish up in Sector 2, he is 0.4 up on his time out of 51.2.
Ritzy can dispatch Cloud here. He is 0.4 up, as Squish just mentioned. Still has to find 0.2. Can the Williams driver, in his first ever full-time seat for URL, find 2 more tenths? Rounds the
Those
final
curves,
corner.
he hit both of them. That may have affected him there.
Ritchie goes P2 with a 17 flat, and it's only 1/100th of a second separating the top two.
And Andy comes in with that 117.18, which means Nail will secure that P3 spot by 6,000ths of a second.
And Cloud with that 16.9 will take pole position by 1/100th of a second over Ritchie.
Now, there is still a lot to play for here, as this is only the setup for the sprint. But if you take a look at this top four, it is less than 0.2 of a second separating all of them.
What a qualifying this has been, and now we have an 11-lap sprint race for you guys. So, once again, Cloud does take pole position here. Ritchie takes P2, Nail P3, Andy 4th, Fat Cat Batman 5th, Abulato is 6th, Snaky is 7th, Ketchun is 8th, Truly is 9th, and Fimi is 10th. Squish, run down through the rest of the field, please, while I take some while I get some water.
All right, moving on from that P10 position, going into 11th, we have Rocket Man sitting at 11th, followed by Awesome Goose in P12. Peely will be sitting in P13 in the Alfa Romeo. Then you have Win in P14 with the AlphaTauri. B-Roy in P15, just ahead of his teammate Lil Dead Gem in P16, which was quite
DK. And then DK and Muppet round out the 18 driver Fred, and it is pissing down rain for the sprint, ladies and gentlemen.
And as some are saying in the comments, rain?
It is raining for the sprint, folks.
This is going to be an interesting time here. Now, the qualifying as we just saw was a dry qualifying, so we might see some hectic things happening here. As many were set up on that dry setup, they aren't able to switch over to the wet setup for this sprint race. Now, if it does rain for the main race again, this will turn everything on its head.
This is going to be a very interesting sprint race. Again, we are on, looks like the intermediate tire. This is intermediate tire weather. Here we go. 11 laps on the 11 laps around Spain. However, makes it more difficult for the drivers. We have 3 red lights. We have 4. We have 5. And it's lights out, and away we go for the sprint race. Cloud gets a decent getaway, so does Ritchie. Andy up to 3rd. Nail gets a very bad start down to 5th. Cloud leads entering turn 1. Ritchie and Andy side by side entering turn 1. Andy so far pulls ahead, but Ritchie fights back for P2. Ritchie takes P2 away again. Nails up. Nail side by side with Abulato for P4. Will hold P4 right now, but Abulato is fighting back around the outside. Have a car in the gravel. I think that was B-Roy in the Red Bull. I'm not sure who that was, but still looks clean so far. Looks like a little bit of a nudge by Snaky into Abulato's gearbox, but still, everything looks clean so far. No rear wing damage, no front wing damage across the field. Cloud is pulling away. Truly and Rocket Man side by side. Truly gets loose. Both McLarens are in the wall.
And that is something you definitely don't want to see. The two teammates coming together, one going off like that. It is very unfortunate for Truly.
As the field slowly makes their way around Sector 3 for the first of 11 really difficult, grueling laps here in the sprint. Again, it was a dry qualifying, but then the heavens opened up. The heavens said no, let there be rain. The biggest loser in all of this has to be Win, down to P18, as Cloud, of course, will set the early pace here with a 35-1. Who's that in the gravel?
That's Fat Cat. He has gone wide into that final turn. He's dropped down to P14. Now, I feel like he might be the biggest, he might have lost a lot of positions there. Yeah, he's down 9 positions in just 1 lap.
Nine
As he
spots
does
down
make a
in
little bit of
McLaren.
contact with Truly, and he goes back into the grass again. He's now down 12 spots.
13
Going
now.
all the way down to the bottom.
Not the
This is
start that
just-
you wanted, however, we do have a fight brewing for P1. Ritzy is all over the back, and Ritzy gets a bit sideways, but saves it. Cloud will hold the advantage still, 410 separate the top two. Meanwhile, Andy has a gearbox full of nail in that Ferrari. Who has a gearbox full? We have a car around.
And it was Rocket Man. He has gone down to P12 now after that little spin he had.
Ritzy's challenging for P1 for Cloud. Takes an interesting line around the corner here, but it is helping him gain traction off the corner. He's now breathing down the Mercedes gearbox.
Right now, just currently all over the back of this Mercedes.
Ritzy's deploying some battery, but so is Cloud. Cloud's defending. Here comes the Williams driver who's gaining slowly, but will stay behind. We have another yellow flag in the back. Who's that around? Is that B-Roy? It is. It's the Red Bull of B-Roy. We have a car big time in the wall.
And that was Muppet hitting the wall there, losing the wing.
There's
Fat
two.
Cat Batman joining him in that as well.
So Fat Cat, Batman, and Muppet both in the wall. B-Roy was also sideways.
Now, it looks like it has sent out the VSC with all the debris on the track there.
That is very, very, very true. So both Muppet and Fat Cat Batman will have to come in for a brand new front wing. I'm wondering if B-Roy might have some damage. I'm not sure if he has damage or not on that Red Bull. The Red Bull looks, on my screen, look pretty good.
I'm not
Looks like
seeing
his wing's
anything
still
too far
intact.
off.
Looks like his wing's still intact, so I'm wondering if it's just maybe the two in front of him were trying to avoid him and maybe came together. But we are under a VSC here. Cloud still leads the way. We're working lap 3 of 11 here in a very wet Spain. As drive-through penalties have been unleashed like no other for 4 different drivers. Ritzy is making a move down the inside of Cloud on this restart. Got the better jump, side by side, down the main straight. They go on board with the driver who sees that Mercedes next to him. And Ritzy takes the lead of the sprint.
Cloud breaking there early, like he knows that he wants to challenge for it, but has to pick his battles wisely.
And as I mentioned, Muppet and Fat Cat Batman are in for their pit stops. Meanwhile, Lil Dead Gem, DK, and Win all got caught for speeding under the VSC and are serving their drive-through penalty. Not to mention, Peely also has a drive-through penalty as B-Roy's around again in the Red Bull.
And we are truly seeing these dry setups just struggling here in the rain.
As Nail and Finny are battling for P6 here, have another yellow
Nail
flag.
goes sideways,
That's
he
Nail.
is backwards on the
Nail's
track.
around. The Ferrari driver, as you mentioned, as Fat Cat Batman gets very squirrely behind Muppet. Ritzy still leads, working lap 4, about to work lap number 5. We have just a little under 7 laps left here in the sprint, and I am out of breath and also out of voice, as you can probably tell. But we keep moving on. Ritzy pulls a gap. It's now 8/10 clear of Cloud, but Cloud is fighting back. That gap is now shrinking once again. It's now under 7/10 of a second.
Ritzy also setting another fastest lap time there with that 1:30.6.
Wondering if Cloud has the better wet setup as we have another car around. Is that B-Roy once again? It is
It
B-Roy.
is. I feel like he is definitely struggling with that dry setup. It is affecting everyone here, but I don't know what it is. I feel like he's just been hurt by it the most personally.
Not sure what's going on, but we keep moving on as Ritzy gets a little bit squirrely, but keeps his P1. It's 0.8 of a second, still separating the top two drivers. It's now coming down again. Once again, Peely has that drive-through penalty. He has to serve it. Not sure why he's waiting to serve that penalty as Fat Cat Batman and looks like Muppet are duking it out for P17.
Even near the bottom of the pack here, you'll still be seeing some good fights.
Fat Cat Batman really applying that pressure now to Muppet. Muppet does go a bit. Muppet is clear.
Cloud gets very squirrely, goes almost near the pit lane, and then has to jump right back out.
That now gives Andy the chance to overtake him. Andy round the outside for turn 1. Andy will comfortably take that P2 from Cloud. And now Abolado sets his sights now for Cloud and that Mercedes. Meanwhile, Andy now sets his sights now for Ritzy. But Cloud is fighting back. Cloud breathing down Andy's gearbox. Andy goes a bit wide, but keeps P2 for now. Abolado goes very wide
as well.
Still looking clean.
And as you
so
see further down, Peely is now serving that drive-through penalty.
So the Alfa Romeo driver now sitting in P12. And Ritzy extends his advantage now to to almost 3.5 seconds over Andy. Meanwhile, looks like Fat Cat Batman is trying to set up another move on Muppet here in the Aston Martin. Goes down the inside, thinks about it. They do come together. And Fat Cat Batman appeared to have ran into the back of Muppet. I'm thinking that might be some front wing damage for that McLaren, maybe some possible rear wing damage for the Aston Martin. We will have to see later on as Ritzy continues to just extend that advantage, setting a 29-9.
And Abolado really pushing up on Cloud right now. He's going around onto the inside there. He's probably going to second guess this one.
Cloud keeps the position for now, but Abolado is fighting, and if these two keep fighting, that's going to bring a certain Alfa Romeo driver in this fight who is now there. Snaky is fighting now. He's in this mix, and so is Fimi. So both Williams drivers are having themselves a sprint here. Got Ritzy in P1, Fimi in P6, I think also on his debut.
I think that may be his debut as well, as Snakey and Abolado were so close together there in one of those turns. This is going to turn into a fight.
Andy has a heap of cars behind him. We'll see how this goes. Where Andy goes a little bit wide, but keeps the position away. Snaky gets a better exit than Abolado out of the hairpin. He's now all over the back of that AlphaTauri driver. Still keeps his P1 for now.
Cloud getting the curb there just a little bit, heading into the start of that chicane.
Still, everything works well. 29-5 for Ritzy, but he's way ahead of the field. The main focus right now is his fight from P2 to P6, which Andy now leads still. Cloud is behind him. Abolado, followed by Snaky, followed by Fimi. Ketchum is sitting in 7th, although he is starting to pull a gap on Goose. Goose has a gearbox full of rock. Excuse me, a Rocket Man here. Car around, that's B-Roy again.
And this is just not the sprint for Red Bull that they needed here.
Sitting in P13 and P14, that's not what the Red Bull team needs. working lap number 8. Ritzy still leads the way.
That train from 2nd to 6th, unchanged so far here. A lot of this is going to come down to who is going to make the slightest mistakes.
Or who takes the biggest risk? Who goes for it all? We now have 3 laps to go this time by. The Williams driver of Ritzy, has been up front for the last, I want to say, 4 laps or 5 laps or so. But since he took that spot from Cloud, he has not looked back and is pulling away. Meanwhile, the focus, like I said, is the fight for P2. Andy leads, followed by Cloud, Abelardo, Snaky, and Fimi. Rocketman is still threatening. Sorry, Switch. Rocketman is still threatening Goose, and Goose is actually reeling in catching ever so slowly. He's gained 3/10 in 1 lap. The gap is now under 1 second. Go ahead.
Now, I was going to look ahead at some of the drivers in this 2nd through 6th gap, and some of them didn't seem like they were really getting any times gained on in this train here, as Fimi is trying to get all over the back of this Alfa Romeo here. Currently sitting at just above, well, now 6/10 of a second now.
5/10 now separate the top, second and third. Now 4/10 of a second. Cloud is slowly reeling in Aston Martin. I'm wondering if Andy's having a problem with his traction or something. As Fat Cat Batman, this fight in the back is still there side by side. Slowly, Muppet is fighting Fat Cat Batman. Fat Cat Batman is peeking. Thinks better of it, stays behind the Aston Martin driver. This is hurting. There we go. Finally goes down the inside of the Aston Martin driver and takes P17 away.
And now we got Rocketman here really draining that ERS as Nail sets a new fastest lap at a 1:29.4.
So looks like the Ferrari driver is starting to get his works in. Bit late for that. He's out as he's P10 right now, so needs to find some positions here, as now Cloud is really putting the pressure now on Andy here for P2.
Abelardo struggling to keep up with Cloud here.
Gonna see what's gonna happen here. We only got a lap and a half left here in the sprint, as the 2 Red Bulls seem to be fighting here in a bit. Looks like B-Roy has his teammate Lil Gem right behind him, as we now are about to start the final lap here at the sprint. Andy's still holding up Cloud in that Mercedes.
Cloud really applying the pressure here.
Ritzy sets a 28.9. Final lap here in the sprint. Abelardo 28.7.
Now Snaky seems to have gotten pulled away from that battle there, as he is over a second behind now. So right now he's just gonna have to worry about Fimi, who's behind him, as Nails hits a 1:28.2.
So
really gaining a lot of time with that Ferrari.
Nail has gained 2 seconds on Rocketman, but the story of the day has been the pace of the Williams of Ritzy. As he works his way through Sector 2, we're going to stick with this battle for a bit longer for P2. Cloud is threatening still. He will go up to the front of the field momentarily. Looks like Cloud has, this is Cloud's last chance to get P2. Cloud's going to stay behind. So we go back up front to the debutante. In his first full-time seat for Williams, qualified P2 by 1/10 of a second, rounds the final corner to come home to take first place in the sprint. Ritzy takes the sprint here in Spain.
And just to add a little cherry on top, sets a 1:27.4, the fastest lap time.
Andy takes P2, Cloud P3, Apollo P4, Snaky P5, Finny P6. Ketchen will take P7 here, followed by Goose, followed by Rocket Man. And Nail takes P10. Truly will take P11. Unfortunate for the McLaren driver, had a good qualifying, but had that mishap on lap number 1. Peely will take 12th. B-Roy will take P13, it looks like, in the Red Bull. Followed by Lil Gem, or Lil Dead Gem. You know what, Lil Dead, you're called Gem from now on. DK will take take P15. Win will take P16. Fat Cat Batman, what could have been, will take P17, and Muppet will take P18.
Now, for several racers here, definitely not the race that they were hoping to have sprint-wise. I think especially would be for Fat Cat.
Fat Cat Batman did have a very, very, very difficult time here today. But hey, it was just a sprint. We now focus our attention on the feature.
So a good day for the Williams, getting 11 points total from the sprint race.
That's very true. The Williams do get a lot of points here, but now that was just 11 laps. We have 11 laps now. 11? 33 ahead of these drivers, so should be an interesting GP.
And I am seeing through the chat here, seeing that the VSC dropped out while several of them were in the hairpin.
Oof.
Which, while they were at a slightly negative time, once it dropped, it just instantly slapped them with that drive-through penalty.
Well, that's the VSC for you, as every crew member on every team is once again doing their traditional T-pose. We go from a very wet sprint race to a picturesque, beautiful sunshine Spain.
Now, Spain is, I'm just saying it's like completely outside of the Formula One wise, has been one of my bucket list places to go to. I always wanted to see it firsthand.
Well, you want to see it firsthand, but today you're seeing it virtually, as the drivers now have 4 lights. We have 5 lights, and the main feature race is green. Ritzy gets a decent getaway, but Andy gets a better one side by side entering turn 1. Andy's on the hard tire compound, so Ritzy should get the better traction off the corner. Ritzy side by side. Ritzy breaks very late to take P1. Snake's up to P3. Have a car around. That's wins around. Andy's now around. Andy's down to P17. Ritzy takes P2. Takes P1, Snake is now P2, Fami's up to P3, Cloud has dropped down to P5.
He has got that hot.
They touch.
A little sideways here.
Rocket Man and Cloud come together. Cloud is the biggest loser now. The Haas drivers are 4th and 5th side by side. So far, everything else looks clean, though. Ritzy is pulling a gap. We have 2 cars side by side. We have a big, huge carnage in the hairpin.
Lots of cars around. Lots of folks that have been impacted by that.
Rocket Man and B-Roy. Rocket Man thinks about the move, thinks better of it. Boys, it's only lap 1. Calm down. You got 32 laps left in this race. Just relax. As Truly round the outside takes P4 from Ketchin. Now Cloud's thinking about the move also. Cloud
Ketchin really defending it well. As Fat Cat is completely backwards.
Fat Cat Batman's around, but we're still green. Cloud's pushing the ever-living daylights out of Ketchin right now.
This Haas is defending for his life, goes wide there.
Cloud down the inside.
Oh, thinks better of it, pulls out of it right at the last second.
Cloud is fighting for his life right now, trying to find a move around the Haas of Ketchin, who is holding him up. This is ruining his chance to catch up to Ritzy, who has now a 2-second lead over Snaky. As Peely is the
now
first
getting the
driver.
First of penalties.
Cloud is gaining on Ketchin. Ketchin has used all his battery, but so has Cloud. Goose has also drained that battery, but Goose has other problems of himself. Goose has Nail side by side. They come together.
And Nail with an excellent recovery there.
Got a car around. Not sure that was Fat Cat Batman again. That puts B-Roy up to P14. Now Jem and Andy side by side. Andy's trying to fight back from that lap 1 spin side by side around the outside of Jem. Thinks better of it.
Cloud and Ketchum going neck and neck here as they are going around there, as Cloud now finally gets past Ketchum here.
Andy gets past Jem. Rocket Man gets past Muppet. Muppet's around. Muppet's in the grass. So Muppet had a moment but still gets going. DK now drops down to P11 as Aquato gets past him. Ritzy now 2.2 clear of Snaky, who has Finny behind him. Shout out to Williams. P1 and P3.
Putting on a clinic right now. And Fimi could be catching up to Snaky here. He will have the DRS here once we go into the DRS straight.
Cloud has DRS on Truly here, but not sure why he pulled out of that. As I just died, momentarily.
It happens sometimes.
Ketchin here.
Rocket Man now getting up ahead of DK.
Oh, Ketchin had a moment. This could propel Goose up to P6 right here down the inside. The Mercedes goes around the Haas and takes P6 away from Goose. From Ketchin. Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness gracious. Look,
the Mercedes is putting on quite a battle as well with that P5, P6 combo that they've got going on.
Got reports that Fat Cat Batman might have hit the ready button too soon.
Oh, you hate to see it, especially with someone who had quite a strong qualifying.
So Fat Cat Batman might be in some trouble. Won't know until the end of the race, of course, because this is a long race. Only lap now working lap 5. As Cloud is all over the back of Truly, but Cloud has other problems, and that is his teammate. Goose is thinking about the move. Goes down the inside. What a brave move by the Mercedes. Takes that spot away.
That was quite the brilliant move there, as Goose is now all over the back of Truly here.
Meanwhile, I will tell you who has gained, who is charging through the field. The man sitting in P11 right now in the Red Bull.
B-Roy has been marching his way up the standings.
Gets a bit of a wide exit, though. That's going to give the momentum now to Rocket Man. As DK's around in the wall. And that's a reset the track. I'm not sure
And we
what
are
the rules are.
seeing.
Sorry, I'm not sure what the rules are for resetting the track, but I think that that's not allowed. I'm not entirely sure what that'll definitely get looked at later on. As Fimi now, B-Roy has spun it. He's fallen down to P14, but Fimi is hounding that Alfa Romeo driver. The Williams pairing might be P1 and P2 momentarily. Snakey is struggling in that Alfa Romeo. Working lap 6. Ritchie leads by 3.3 seconds, now 3.4, almost 3.5. But Snakey
does get the DRS now here.
Snakey has other problems than Ritchie right now. He's got a mirror full of Ritchie's teammate in Fimi. As Fat Cat Batman gets past Win, yellow flags in Sector 2. I think that's Win around. They might have came together. It is Win. And he falls down to P18 as Ritchie sets the pace at a 120.6.
Now we have DK and Muppy here fighting for that P16 spot. But that's going to have to be on hold for now as Cloud now gets past his teammate Goose here the straightaway from the beginning of Sector 1, taking that position back.
Those medium tire runners are starting to feel the effects of their mediums wearing off as Cloud now is threatening to pass Truly, looks down the inside, thinks better of it, still goes down the inside. What a move!
And now we have Nail and Goose fighting it out as Nail finally gets past. Abulado gets past Goose.
But Goose takes steps back, but Abulado's side by side. You don't want to be side by side here, boys. Very risky through there as B-Roy's spawn again is down to P17. Cloud does get past Truly though, and sets his sights now for the Williams driver of Fimi. What a battle we've had so far in 7 laps.
And that battle is still continuing with Abulado and Goose going side by side, heading into this final chicane.
Don't want to be side by side here, boys. Someone has to give. Abulado gives smart by the AlphaTauri driver to give that spot back and just get him back down the straight here. He will have DRS. Goose will not have DRS. Goose is a sitting duck here. Abulado down the inside will take comfortably P7.
And I feel like that was definitely the strategy for him, as he knew he would get that DRS going down that straightaway.
Fat Cat Batman gets past Gem for P13, but Gem is fighting back. Gem.
Nail
behind.
right now trying to get past Truly as well here.
Nail. Those medium tires, like I mentioned, the medium tire runners are starting to struggle here as Cloud has just gained half a second on Fimi and has pulled 1 second on Truly. However, Truly has a mirror full of a red Scuderia Ferrari of Nail. Nail thinks better of it. We'll stay behind for now in P6. Fimi is still within DRS range and Nail's in the wall hard. And that's a full-blown safety car.
Full-blown safety car. Which worked out for Goose perfectly, as he is now going into the pits.
This works well for Cloud. It helps.
This does work well for Cloud.
It helps everybody else who was on the medium compound tire. They will now come in the pits to go to hards. B-Roy stayed out.
Leroy with the interesting strategy there of staying out. Now, he will have that advantage on those mediums as the hards will take a while to get to temperature.
True, but here's the thing. Would you rather have fresh hards, or would you rather have 9-lap old mediums?
That is a very good question there. I mean, many would say they would rather have the hards. They might struggle for maybe 3 laps, but they'll
Sorry,
still
Squish,
get
Apollo
that.
spun it.
Oh dear.
He's down to P7. Continue.
Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, you'll have a
Ritzy
little
fits.
bit of struggle with those hards. A couple laps there.
And
But,
the top 3 are in.
Eventually, what will happen is you'll get those tires up to temperature, and then you'll be good to go for quite some time.
I'll tell you what, the double stack worked to perfection here for Williams as they both drivers came in. Cloud will take the race lead right now. Ketchen will be sitting in P3. As Snaggy comes out of the pits, Finny comes out, so does Truly. B-Roy gets caught with a 3-second time penalty for track limits.
And Fibby going down to P7 here.
Abulado will be in P11 right now. He'll be behind B-Roy here, trying to get those tires warmed up. So we work lap number 10 of 33. If you're just tuning in, you are watching the Untitled Racing League URL season number 1, round 4 in Spain. You are joined by myself, XRO Cruz. I am joined in the booth with Mr. Squish.
That would be me.
It's been a pretty eventful race so far. If you missed qualifying, the man on your screen right now, Cloud, got P1 with a 16.9. The man behind him, though, BRL Ritzy, making his URL full-time debut, missed pole by 1/100th of a second. The sprint race was just fully wet. It was completely inters. This race, and then the main event, has been pretty stable, but there have been some chaotic moments. And this is our first safety car, not mistaken, of the feature.
This is the first full-blown safety car of the entire event here, as even in the sprint race there was only the VSC.
Yep, and the cause of this safety car was Nail. I think he had a massive tank slapper in sector 3 and just pancaked the wall. I'm surprised that he's still in the race, to be honest, because if you saw it on stream, my man went, "Hello, wall." 23 people watching the stream. What is going on, everybody?
And now there is definitely one team I will say has benefited from this safety car, and that is going to be the Alfa Romeo. They have been kind of all over the place. Snaky did start, I believe it was P3 at the start.
I think he was P4. Let's see. P5 actually.
Oh, he started P5, and then Peely started. Looks like here. Looks like it was P12.
So decent. Decent spots gained, as the safety car will come in this lap. Now, if you're Cloud in the Mercedes, when do you go? When do you pull the power down? Because, like I said, you have probably like the driver of the weekend right behind you. When do you go? When do you say, all right, it's go time? He waits, and he goes. He caught. I'll tell you what. He caught Ritzy sleeping there. Weaving down
Got
the
him
straight.
right at the prime part of that chicane to where it looks like he was
Yellow
stopping
flags,
for a
hold
while.
on. Big crash in the back. Muppets in the wall super hard. Lost his front wing. B-Roy's up to P10, or no, B-Roy's falling down to P10. I'm wondering if the choice to not come in is gonna hurt that Red Bull. So far it is. He looks down the inside of Goose side by side, and he's around. And the Red Bull
And it
is
looks
around.
like that decision to stay out has truly come back to bite him.
More yellow flags in the back. Looks like that's Muppet in his wounded Aston Martin trying to make his way back around the field to the pits to get probably a fresh set of mediums. He will have to do at least 2 more stops though, because I'll tell you right now, medium tires cannot last 21 laps.
No, they cannot. Meanwhile, we are seeing Snaky all over the back of Ketchum here.
Yellow flag again. Sorry, Squish. Looks like Fat Cat Batman has spun it once again. Not the race for Fat Cat Batman, and as I'll tell you something right now, I know that he's in P2 right now, but his ERS management has been immense. Ritzy has 80% of his battery left, compared to Cloud's 35%, now 33%. So advantage goes, unfortunately, to the Williams.
And another thing with the Williams is Cloud did decide to stay. Oh, as Muppet is now out of the session.
I'm sorry,
and
but
that's going to bring out safety car number 2.
I'm sorry, but B-Roy has just boxed for fresh softs.
Well, he got that free pit stop there as Muppet did unfortunately crash.
We have lost Muppet in this race, as you mentioned. I think that he crashed in the pit lane wall. I didn't get a view of that. However, now Cloud here has a very tough choice to make. We are on lap 13 of 33. And Cloud has yet to pit. Do you just take the 2-stop? He's coming in.
And it looks like that decision has already been made. It looks like he might be going for that 2-stop strategy as Ketchum also goes in, and so does Andy.
Andy comes in too. Peely stays out, so now the Alfa Romeos now are P2 and P3. It's a Williams sandwich at the top 4, folks.
With the Alfa Romeo just snug right there in the middle.
As we have Muppet saying in the chat that this was not a good race. Oh my life. What happened, Muppet? Did you hit the pit lane wall? Now, B-Roy here on the sauce. Will he come in for a fresh set of... He stays out.
He's going to try to run that fresh set probably for...
a while. But then he'll have to go onto the mediums. I'm wondering if he began on hards.
Yeah, the pit lane wall, no wings makes it hard to turn. I know that pain there, Muppet.
Working lap number 14 here.
And Muppet also wants to make it known that he wants to say he is super duper sorry to his teammate Andy.
I'm sure Andy will like that apology, Muppet. No worries there. Lap 14 of 33. This race has gone by pretty quick, to be fair.
This has been one, I guess it's a kind of right to say a quick time here.
No.
No. Okay. Okay. I'll get here.
Yes, get in your corner. Go sit in your timeout corner.
Don't forget the cap.
Here's your top hat. Go sit in the corner. All right.
Now, I know that Peely decided to stay out. One thing I will say, he will have quite the train behind him. He is on the older tire compared to Fimi, Truly, and even Goose.
It's interesting to see how he can hold up the field here. Will he help out his teammate Snaky? Okay, Snaky, will Snaky get the jump on Ritzy? What's gonna happen on this restart? We're about to find out. As their field is bunched up together, as you can see on this beautiful shot right here, safety car is in this lap. Who is that car in the gravel? I'm gonna assume it was Fat Cat Batman. I'm not entirely sure though, as the field is bunched up together here. About to get back underway. Ritzy's biding his time. Safety car is now in the chicane section. We go on board with Snaky here, who's P2 right now. Biding his time. When will Ritzy go? Ritzy in the final chicane. Rounds the final corner. We have a big accident. Ritzy, I think, had something happen in the back, but we keep going. And Peely caught his teammate sleeping. Peely's going for the move around the outside of his teammate. And Peely's in P2.
Looks like that won't last long. Snaky does get the better of him heading into that turn. Abulato
spun it. No! The AlphaTauri's around. B-Roy's also involved in that, side by side.
Fimi getting past Peely. Peely now going back to that P3 position. Back and forth between the Alfa Romeo and the Williams.
A bit of wheel bang between the two between Peely and Fimi here, but Fimi takes that spot away from Peely. Now sets his sights for Snaky. The Williams team is showing up today here in Spain.
And Alfa Romeo is not going down without a fight.
If I know Snaky's gonna fight Fimi very difficult here. He's going to make that Alfa Romeo as wide as humanly possible. We're gonna see how Fimi handles this situation. How does Snaky deal with the Williams behind him? As B-Roy is sitting in P14 again on the soft compound tire, so we'll have to make another pit stop. But I'm wondering if that's the last that we'll see of safety cars. My bet would be no.
It's something that we will have to wait and see, but with a lot of the middle of the table all grouped up, we might be seeing some more debris flying around.
A lot of action still here in Spain. Still have quite a bit of ways to go. We are on lap 17 of 33 here in Spain.
And it looks like Fat Cat got a little squirrely there as Cloud is right now all over the back of him.
Fat Cat Batman, you don't want to get squirrely behind with Cloud behind you, because that Mercedes has some pace today, as we have seen.
And Truly drops a bunch of places, taking that turn wide, and one of them is sideways. Rocket Man has gone completely sideways.
Gets in the wall. That was very close. Thank God for ghosting in this game, because if they didn't ghost, Beaver would have been absolutely T-boning somebody. Have a huge accident. Andy's involved in this. Andy's down to P17.
And this has been a very, very rough day for Andy here.
As Cloud and Truly both go up a position, passing both their rivals, Fat Cat, Batman, and Gem go down to P8, P10 respectively. B-Roy is now trying to hound the back of Ketchin in the Haas, who is behind Gem, now side by side, now ahead of Gem. And Gem has fallen
trying
back.
to keep up, but that Haas is starting to pull away more and more.
Now, here's the thing. If you are Gem, you have your teammate B-Roy, basically your team principal behind you. Do you let your teammate go? The answer is no. Gem's looking for a move side by side with Ketchin.
This Fat Cat gets very squirrely into that turn, loses a lot of time.
Still good, still clean, still nothing.
And Gem, unfortunately,
Gem
getting
got a
that
penalty.
3-second
spun it
penalty.
again.
And Ritzy setting that 1:20.6 fastest lap time as the over Romeo Peely is around.
And another full-blown safety car, folks. And B-Roy spun it again in the chicane. His tires are smoked.
Now, fortunately for him, that safety car has come out, so he will have that free pit.
And he's coming in right now for that. He's coming off right now. He's saying, I am done with the soft tires. I want no part of this. B-Roy is coming in now. B-Roy wants no part of those soft tires. Those soft tires can come off, he says. I am done. I want no part of this. Goes onto the hard tires. That's looks like Cloud and Fat Cat Batman had a bit of a scuffle. Not sure what's going on there, but Cloud's passed both McLaren.
I think there was a potential legal overtake, and that they had to give the position back.
Gotcha. All right, now time to decide. Do you come in for the fresh mediums, or do you stay out? Ritzy stays out. Snakey stays out. Fimmy stays out. Nail comes in. Goose stays out.
And he was on
Truly's
those
out.
mediums.
Everybody stays out so far. No one's coming in for... I stand corrected. Here comes the Alfa Romeo of Peely.
And Peely really needed that.
And Peely gets caught speeding.
Unfortunate thing to have here in the paint, not something you want to have happen. So he does go to that medium tire. He was on the oldest tires of the entire grid. So that was well needed for him.
Very true. Here. 20 laps of just non-stop action. And I thought Spain was pain, but today it's been just battles galore.
I feel like Spain is only pain when you have to drive in it, Javi.
Possibly.
Because watching this has been quite the spectacle.
I know, right? Why? You know, being up in the booth, it's like, wow, wow. What battles? Wow, just wow. But being in the car, I cannot. I bet that the drivers are probably just over it right now. They're probably just like, get me out of this car, please. I want to be done with it.
Well, they'll be out of the car once they get past another 14 laps here.
Yep, we're gonna have one more lap behind the safety car, it looks like. So once again,
trying to catch up to the grid.
Once again, it's autoplay for here for URL.
So what a day for the Williams.
I just saw a car. Okay, never mind. My screen was just.
Oh no,
Hello.
you were not wrong there. Peely had some severe collision with Nail.
Okay, so I wasn't tripping. Okay. I was very like, I swear I just saw a car just dart for the wall. Also, can we give a shout out now to Goose, who's sitting in P4 in that Mercedes? I know that his teammate Cloud has been the class of the field so far in qualifying and all that. I mean in qualifying. But, P4 for the Mercedes driver. Pretty good.
That is very good for the Mercedes driver, especially with his teammates, who has been putting on quite a show for us. His teammate now currently in P8, just behind Gem.
But it goes without saying that the constructors of the race has to be Williams.
Hands down has to be Williams. Currently in that P1 and P3.
Will it be a double podium for Williams? Will it be a P1 and P2 for Williams? Can Cloud fight his way back to P3? Can anybody challenge Ritzy? We're about to find out. We're gonna have 12 laps of action here in Spain for you guys. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the last 12 laps of the URL Spanish Grand Prix that is back green.
And Nail getting a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Andy in the back. I think he may have accidentally punted him there.
Yellow flags. B-Roy spun it again, it looks like, folks.
Now, as it stands now with the top 10, so far nothing too major happened here, as Peely is now has gone sideways there for a bit.
Yellow flag in sector 1. Peely has gone sideways, but still Ritzy leads the way. Cloud gets past Peely here. Gets past Gem for P7. Sorry. We were mentioning Peely. Don't judge me.
It's something that happens, but Cloud is now trying to get to those McLarens. Fat Cat on the older tires.
And the Fat Cat Batman is threatening Truly here for P5. Meanwhile, Ritzy not really gapping as fast as you would probably see. Oh, spoke way too soon. He's now over that 1 second mark. 1.1. Okay, yeah, 1 point, yeah, okay. Take back everything I said.
I feel like he heard you about to start saying something about it and then just said, yeah,
Take back everything I said. Because he's now gone.
And it seems like Fat Cat finally does get past Truly here. Cloud all over the back of Truly now as they are going into this fast right-hander.
Gonna go side by side here, more than likely. Fat Cat or Truly does give Cloud the space. All the time you have to leave a space. As you know, Alonso said way back when.
Cloud goes through on the inside there.
Cloud side by side in this very tricky section. Oh my gosh, that was close to being catastrophic for both drivers, but Cloud does manage to get ahead. And
Both
now
Rocket Man from that.
Rocket Man, the two Haas drivers fighting side by side. Rocket Man's down the inside. Abelardo's trying to hold it still too. Gem is holding this train up. Rocket Man goes deep. This allows Abelardo to threaten him. Also, Andy, DK's in this fight. Also, don't count out that Alpine driver just yet. Someone's in the gravel.
As the DRS is now getting enabled here. Won't be available for this straightaway, but heading into the next DRS zones is when we'll start seeing it.
Peely pits and gets another time penalty.
Another speeding in the pit lane for Peely.
It's not what you want to do, young man. Because now they have to wait 5 seconds to service your car and all that, so it's gonna be interesting.
Cloud biding his time, trying to challenge on Fat Cat. Both of them have DRS.
Both drive. So is Fimi. Fimi's also not letting that Romeo go away from him. Goose is also hanging tough in there. Fat Cat Batman with the comeback of the race, in my opinion. Sitting P5, got a driver around. Hold that thought real quick. I think that was Win who had a moment. Gets back going, but everything looks good.
Cloud now going around the inside here. Cloud gets past Fat Cat.
Cloud is pulling off some risky overtakes here in the dying lap of the Spanish Grand Prix.
It is now a Mercedes 4P5.
As Rocket Man now gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I'm gonna assume it's track limits. As Nail and Avalado side by side. Oh my Lord, have mercy, boys. Relax, please.
It seems B-Roy has spun it again in the far back area of Sector 1.
Catch and spun it.
And so had Andy got involved in that too. Andy is spun again.
Andy's also spinning still. He's in the gravel still. Gets back going. Ritzy, meanwhile, 2.6 clear of Snaky.
As Fat Cat goes through the gravel here.
Fat Cat Batman is struggling now. I gave him so much praise, and now he's over here letting me down. 8 laps left here in Spain.
Cloud setting a new fastest time.
Cloud sets the pace, but ERS dump, good sir.
It is true, there was an ERS dump.
Yellow flag, Win spun it again. A lot of drivers are having trouble in that third sector.
I feel like it's that chicane.
Hold on, hold that thought. Is that Gem around? It was Gem around. He's down to P12. Not a good day for Red Bull here, folks. Not a good day at all for the Red Bull team as B-Roy now pits. Will it be for softs or mediums? It is softs. Ritzy still leads now by 3 seconds. Snaky sitting in P2. Fimi is charging, trying to find a way past Snaky here. Can the Williams driver find a way? Cloud, though, is saying, hey boys, I am back. I want my podium. I want my P3, possible P2.
He is charging all over the back of Fimi right now.
Literally pushing Fimi through that chicane, saying, hurry up, Williams. Here comes Cloud. Down the inside, side by side, entering turn 1. Someone has to give here. Boys, somebody has to give. Fimi gives.
And now Fimi looking around the outside here in this right-hander. He goes wide.
Cloud up to P3. Now sets his sights for Snaky. If there was just a few laps, I feel like Cloud could give Ritzy a shot, a run for his money. However, Ritzy is gone.
Ritzy is in a zip code of his own right now.
Ritzy currently is over and is in the next round right now. Ritzy is currently just chilling in Silverstone right now.
Snaky right now just trying to keep that P2.
Ritzy's trying to join.
And Snaky has gone a bit squirrely there.
This is going to help out Cloud. Cloud now is going to get the momentum. Cloud with DRS. This is as close as anyone has been Yellow flags in the back.
And
Nail
Nail got sideways there. The Haas was
around.
kind of got struggled there a little bit. Cloud doesn't get Snaky at that straightaway, but
Get him here.
still has a lot of time.
I'm wondering if the medium tires are starting to slowly die on the Mercedes driver. He's been on the mediums for quite a while now. What, 14 laps or so he's been on those tires? 14 laps on the mediums. 14 laps on the mediums. Those tires must be screaming for help.
I feel like he might start losing that time here. He has been trying to do that ERS dump.
As things go from bad to worse for Peely in the Alfa Romeo, as hell, B-Roy!
B-Roy seeing his opportunity to take points, and he is running with it.
B-Roy sets the pace on the soft tire. We're getting to that point now where if a crash happens, there will be no safety car. However, forget all that. The fight for P2 is on. Cloud. Peaks around the outside. Snaky's squeezing him. Snaky's really squeezing this man. They're still
They go side by side.
This is brilliant racing right here around Spain, boys.
As Snaky does come out of it, keeping that P2.
Fimi is struggling to keep up with these two right now in that Williams, but still a good showing by the Williams driver. Meanwhile, we're about to have
all over truly here.
We're about to have 4 laps of racing left here. Guys, stay tuned because I'm gonna try to get Ritzy in this party to do a quick interview if he is the winner of this Grand Prix.
Cloud trying everything he can to get past this Alfa Romeo, but Snaky is not gonna make it easy.
Cloud makes his way. Cloud just has to stay behind Snaky and get a good exit here, which he somewhat does. Snake, this is the closest he's been. This is the closest the Merc has been. Absolutely blitzes. Still side by side. Snake is fighting back, though. They're still side by side. Oh my goodness, this is bringing back Fimi, though. Yellow flag in sector 3. What's happened? Is that B running around again? It's not this time.
And Snaky once again defending that P2.
Snaky is defending like a lion, folks. We still keep going. We still keep trucking here. Lap 30 of 33. And Ritzy is 5.5 seconds clear of this titanic battle between these two giants, Snaky and Cloud, for that P2 spot, as Truly and Rocketman are duking it out for P6. Rocketman takes it. Truly
and Truly is sideways! And then goes Fat Cat. Both of the McLarens going sideways there.
Yellow flag. It does not matter where they are at right now, as they are currently in P8 and P9. What matters right now is this fight for P2. Snaky, once again, manages to stay in front of Cloud. Cloud is desperately trying to find a way past this Alfa Romeo. His chances of winning this GP are pretty much done.
This winner has essentially already been decided, but to get into that P2, he is fighting for his life right now, as Fimi is now getting back into the mix. He is under a second now.
Now, if you're Cloud, do you save your battery? Do you just save your battery? Let Snaky train his. You just save your battery for the last lap, and then on that last lap, just go for it all. do you let the Alfa Romeo driver just waste his battery if you are a Cloud? And also, like you said, don't count Fimi out. He is coming back. Anything can happen here. As we've seen it before, here comes Cloud. He's just draining that battery. Cloud should get him here. Cloud should get him. Oh, but Snaky is fighting. Look at the Alfa Romeo fight his way. They wheel bang. And Snaky still holds.
Once again holding on to that P2. There's still one more lap after this.
All this happening some 6 points, some 6.8 behind. We have a car around again. That's Fat Cat Batman who's out of the points. DK is now in the points, ladies and gentlemen.
An unreal display of defending here from Snaky.
Cloud is trying to find a way still. As we now have entered, as we go up front, it's the bell lap. It's the final lap of Spanish Grand Prix, and Ritzy has a 7.5 second advantage over Snaky. My apologies, or should I say, Cloud. Snaky is defending, squeezing Cloud literally off track almost.
And Snaky goes sideways under some contact. He's in the wall.
Snaky's in the wall. This puts Fimi back on the podium. Fimi's fighting for P2. Fimi in the Williams. All of this happening 8.2 behind your race leader.
Fimi now within about half a second of Cloud here, trying to do everything he can.
Cloud is pulling away though from Fimi here.
Fimi will get a bit of the DRS advantage here.
This is his last chance really to go back up front though. However, back up to the front on his debut for Williams, qualified to by just a 100th a second. He won the sprint pretty comfortably. However, he has dominated from start to finish. BRL Ritzy on his debut wins the Spanish Grand Prix.
And it looks like Cloud will secure that P2 as Fimi cannot keep up.
Cloud gets P2, Fimi gets P3. What a day for the Williams driver, for the Williams pair, I should say. We're going to try to now get both drivers. Going to try to get Ritzy in here and also Cloud. Hopefully they join. If not, whew.
And we are seeing some of these unserved penalties affect times here.
Ritzy cannot join because he has BRL here in a bit. Of course he does. Gonna try to get...
As Andy takes away the fastest lap from B-Roy!
And Andy says, sorry B-Roy, I want the best lap from you, mate. Fat Cat Batman driver of the day.
He had quite the comeback story for a while there.
But once again, on his debut, BRL Ritzy will take that P1 position. I will get screenshots real quick of the sprint for the boys. That way
now this has definitely been a big day for Williams. Looking at the combined points total, 51 points earned between the two.
Very, very good day for Williams. Very strong day for Williams.
Mercedes having a strong day themselves. They get that 37 points in total from this weekend. Alfa
Very,
Romeo had a
very.
strong part of this race, but unfortunately, Piastri just could not get it done.
It was just chaotic. My voice is gone if you can't hear my voice right now. My voice is so gone. As Jem says, at least I beat my teammate Rocket Man. No words. Rocket Man P6, buddy. Though, hey, not bad.
That's not bad at all for him.
But yeah,
All that for a P5. I understand the pain, Snakey. You put on a
Snake,
defensive clinic.
Snaky, that battle with you and Cloud was fun. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, boys, that and I mean, I guess that nobody wants to join for interviews real quick. I know that Ritzy has. I know that who knew Snake was a minister of defense.
Was a minister of defense. He indeed was.
But once again, boys, that was URL around Spain, and wow, if this is how Spain was squished, I cannot wait to see how Britain's gonna be. Hopefully I can do Britain. What day is Britain fall on for me?
Let's take a look at the calendar here. Uh,
Yes, I
looks
can.
like that would probably
No,
go
I will be
onto.
on. I'll be on holiday.
Ah, unfortunate there.
Yeah, I'll be on holiday. But yeah, guys, that does it for me. Congrats to William. Congrats to Ritzy and the whole Williams team for that double podium. Cloud P2, Snaky, you fought your living. I can't say that word on stream. Off.
You fought for everything.
You fought for everything. So yeah, Goose dub race. Absolutely, that was a monster race. But yeah, congrats to everybody. That was fun. Squish. I don't know about you, but that was fun.
I I could not keep my eyes off the screen for so long.
That was a
That I
lot of fun.
that whole battle with Cloud and Snakey in the final laps of that race, just seeing the massive train that we had throughout several points, not only in the sprint but also the main event.
Yeah, no, that was a whole bunch of fun to commentate. Boy, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this stream too. Snaky, I appreciate it. My voice is gone, bro. My voice is so done. Snaky, I'm gonna send B-Roy. So I screen recorded the race. I will send it over to B-Roy here in a bit. Rocketman, you're not on Xbox, are you? If you're on Xbox, I can interview you. I invited Cloud. Cloud, get in here.
I don't think Rocket Man is. Looking at the screen here, it looks like he is on PC.
Yeah, true. But yeah, boys, that's gonna do it for me and for Squish. I'm pretty sure, right, Squish? I mean, if you have any last words, Squish, go ahead.
Uh, how is this more entertaining than actual F1? Like, I think I'm being for real here.
Oh. Yeah, but that's gonna do it for me. Um, again, there may not be a stream next week because I'm gonna be in